I can and I will.
Hello everyone, welcome to Dreamweaver's Diary. Today we'll study about how different mythologies gives us lessons so we can run our life smoothly and how implementing those lessons in our life can be a great advantage to run our relationships smoothly. Everything is hidden in mythologies and they're actually a kind of cheat code to life and how to implement things because the things written in the mythologies, things we read about and hear about from the mythologies are actual things we face in real life. So let's get started. First, we have from Hindu mythology karma. Karma is like you reap what you sow.
In this clip, this man tried to catch fishes, but he fell down the tank, which is kind of a karma. But God decided he didn't have enough. So, as soon as he went out of the shop, the police captured him. You see, this is karma.
जो करोगे वही भरोगे. अगर if you did good for the universe, if you did good for others, you'll receive good. And if you did something bad, if you cheated someone, if you stole someone's money or did anything, karma will take its revenge on you. It's believed that if a person who has been cheated upon, if a person who has been robbed or been treated badly, if they do not take revenge, karma will take their revenge for them. It's like everything you do comes back to you. It's like a give and take response. It's like a communication cycle. You do your work and you get the result in as a product. Then we have Phoenix from the global mythology. I believe everyone has heard about a phoenix. A phoenix is a one which rises from its own ashes after it dies. It teaches us how to rise after you fail and how to repeat that cycle. Because a phoenix, when it dies, it turns into its ashes and from its own ashes, it regenerates its new body and it flies high like never before. So we should be like phoenix. We should learn that how to have a comeback from whatever has been wrong in our life and how to just not mourn upon the spilled milk and just not cry over the spilled milk and just look after the better things and the positive side of the life. Then we have the Pandora's box from the Greek mythology. It teaches us that every choice we do, every good or bad deed we do, it's upon us to choose. Pandora was a beautiful woman created by the Greek gods, and she was given a box as a gift in marriage on one condition that she will never open it. But out of curiosity, after people brainwashed her that she has to open it and what he gave her that she cannot open it, she opened it, revealing the very hardest things humanity has to face, that is greed, lust, the main seven sins and diseases in the human world. But you know what at the end was? Listen up. At the end, there was one thing: hope. Now you see how strong hope is. If you hope that things will go good, things will go good, because at the end of the all the bad things in the box, what the gods put in there was hope. A hope a human being can have. There's a silver lining to everything. You should hope for the better thing for everything. That is what the Pandora's box teaches us, that after whatever choice we make, good or bad, it's upon us. If she didn't open the box, humanity didn't have to face the hardships we do, like the sins, the bad deeds people do, and that theft, greed, lust, and other the sins. Next, we have Hanumanji from the Hindu mythology. He teaches us about the adaptability and strength, and that we should trust ourselves even when in danger. Hanumanji did not reveal he even himself did not know his real self unless in trouble, and other people made him realize his own potential, because according to him he was a normal person, but actually he was so much more. And when he realized his own true potential, he started to grow. He became his best version, that is the mighty version he is. So from him we learn that we should always trust ourselves and that we can take ourselves out of any adverse situation. Next, we have the Orisis and Iris from the Egyptian mythology. Iris, who was the wife of Orisis, brought him back after he died, and it teaches us how to come back after the setbacks again. There are many similarities across the world in mythologies, and similarly, this Orisis and Iris mythology teaches us that we should always keep working towards the betterment and not focus upon what worse has happened, and we should keep trying towards the good. Next, we have Incarcerus from the Greek mythology. He did not listen and follow rules of his dad. His dad made wings for both of them to escape, and his dad was an inventor, as already evident. He made wings for them to fly and escape the place they were in. But in Carcarus, he was very greedy and he did not listen to his dad. He wanted to, rise up in the sky, almost fly with the clouds, fly with the stars. So he rose up, he rose up, he rose up. But you know what happened? His greed, obviously, greed is a sin. So his greed to experience more stuff, his wings melted from the sun's heat because the wings could not bear that much heat. His dad knew that. That's why he was warning the sun not to fly that high. He was warning him again and again that Incarcerus, please don't go that high. But he didn't listen to him and he flew high. So, yeah, the wings melted and he fell to his death on his own. Next, we have Peter Pan from the modern mythology, my favorite. He teaches us that we should stay. He is not only a boy who refused to grow up, but also a boy who teaches us that youthful and joyous nature, curious nature of a person should always be within them. He teaches us that we should never lose our sense of wonder, our sense of curious nature, our sense of kiddish nature, because that is the reality of humanity. When a child is born, it is so pure, so lovable, and everybody loves it. So we should never lose our curiosity, our happiness, our joyous nature, because once we lose that spark in life, there's nothing left but depression and sadness. We should never lose that spark in life, and it's like basically the dedication which we have to keep going in life. The Netherlands, it was an imaginary place in which Peter Pan stayed, and he always tried to protect his child self, refusing to grow. We should not take the refusing to grow part. We should grow, but we should learn from him that we should always inculcate our young youthful self and curious nature within us and never lose that, no matter how old we grow. Next, we have the Great Serpent from the Australian Aboriginal mythology. The creation and destruction nature of the serpent teaches us that the yin and yang nature always exists together. The dual nature of the serpent represents that there's a good side to everything and so is a bad side. Nothing is purely good and nothing is purely bad. There are both sides to everything. There are two faces to a coin, good and bad. The coin is never only heads and the coin is never solemnly tails. It has both sides. Next, we have the leprechauns from the Irish mythology. Believe it or not, they're also one of my favorite. They teach us that no matter how small you are, no matter how short you are, no matter where you are in life, you can do things, because leprechauns are the creatures that hide the golden pot at the end of the rainbow. I believe everyone has heard that thing. Every child has heard that mythology from his or her parents, that at the end of a rainbow there exists a golden pot filled with coins, and leprechauns are the guardians of that golden coin. They are so smart that they even outsmart the giants and whoever tries to steal their golden pot. You need to always believe in yourself, like the leprechauns believe in themselves, that they will hide the golden pot and no one will find it. Similarly, we need to believe in ourselves that we will achieve our dreams. We are the hero of our own story. Next, we have the sirens, which are common in all of the mythologies. They teach us that never judge a book by its cover. Sirens look very pretty, and they lure the sailors in the deep sea through their alluring voice. They have such an angelic voice that the sailors cannot resist. They cannot resist the temptation and nor jump themselves to death, appearing to touch the sirens, appearing to, be closer to the sirens because they're so. They teach us that never judge a book by its cover, no matter how pretty, no matter how graceful and nice a thing might seem, you never know their true intentions. This is what also is taught to little kids, that if someone gives you candy, don't take it just because they seem nice to you, because they can be evil, they can kidnap you. So, similarly, the sirens teach us that never judge a book by its cover. Don't judge people by what they seem, because looks can be deceiving, just as the siren's looks and voice are deceiving to the sailors. That's it for today's video. Keep watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do share your favorite mythology and if you have learned something important from them. And if any mythology you want to know more about, please do comment that also. Stay tuned and keep watching, because here in Dreamweaver's Diary, we weave dreams telling schemes. Goodbye.